What's up, Facebook, YouTube, whoever's watching? Hey, what's up? My name's Corey. Man, I've been wanting to shoot some video and develop some content here for a little while. And then I figured the best way to go and do so is to just jump right in. I have to tell you one thing, I'm pretty worked up over this whole shooting in Vegas deal. It's all over my Facebook feed. There's a lot of opinions. But there's something that I wanted to talk about today. So I'll give you guys a little rundown quickly. So I'm a philosophy major in school. I came to the conclusion that I believe that philosophy is one of the biggest things that's really missing in our society. It's one of the things that really helps us develop our beliefs, understand what misinformation, disinformation, propaganda is, and it really lets us understand where the errors are in our belief system. So if you have a contradictory belief system where you say one thing, it's happening a lot today, that is one of your firm beliefs, but then you believe another that's completely contradictory to that exact belief, you're living in contradiction. So you're never going to find or achieve what I'd consider peace or balance. Now, I opened up my Facebook and I have a lot of veteran friends on my Facebook, and a lot of them are bashing Dan Bilzarian. One person in particular is Dakota Meyer, who's a Medal of Honor recipient for heroic actions in wartime theater. And he's condemning Dan Bilzarian for running away from the attack because he was there at the concert. He watched a woman's head explode right in front of his eyes from bullet shots, and he ran away and started recording on his Instagram. Now, one thing I will say is this. I'm not the type of person when something's going down to whip out my camera and start videoing, but there's a lot of other people who did and have and will do, and in a way that really shows us a lot of different perspective to what's going on. But the thing that I want to tackle today is this: the term cowardly, right? And understanding what a hero is in today's society. We live in a society that tells us that we must continue to self-sacrifice, that we must sacrifice ourselves, our bodies, our time, our health, our resources, because if we're one that accumulates resources or looks at ourselves as a little bit more precious than another individual, then we're essentially bad. And I would even consider and use the term evil, right? We live in this dualistic society that lives in the ideals of you're either good or you're bad or you're evil, right? The heaven, the hell kind of concept. Now, a rational individual will understand these things. So I'm a huge advocate of Randian philosophy and Randian logic. So Ayn Rand, if you guys don't know her, amazing philosophies. Do I agree with her on every single thing? Not exactly. Do I look at her as my Lord and Savior? No, not exactly. But she bases a lot of her stuff off of Aristotelian philosophy. And where I'm going with this is this: the virtue of bravery is the mean between a vice and an extreme, let's just say, right? So bravery falls as a mean between someone who is cowardly and someone who is rash, someone who is just exceedingly courageous. Now, let me go, and the reason why I bring this up, and yeah, I know people are probably tuning out right now because, oh God, he's talking about some deep shit and I don't give a fuck. What it comes down to is this: Dan Bilzarian was sitting in a fucking pot of 22,000 people, right? They were sitting ducks, they were fish in a barrel. And then all of a sudden, from what seems like to me, numerous gun positions, but we'll stick with the narrative, one position, we see a fucking rain of bullets coming down on this environment, right? Now, it's easy for Dakota Meyer to sit here and say, you should have sacrificed yourself and you should have protected people and not run away. But let's look at this, right? You're in a bad position. You have an enemy machine gun position from a high elevation, raining down on a group of 22,000 people. You're a sitting duck. You don't have any weapons to fight back. You have nothing. You have no cover. You don't have any type of armament yourself or any type of defense mechanism to block yourself from getting hit. You don't have any triage equipment to take care of people who are injured. What should a person do? What should a person do in that situation? Should they be rash? Should they be completely rash and pretend as though they're some superhero and try to defend bullets from other people because they were in the military or because our society tells you that you should be virtuous and give your life for other people, that's silly. That's complete silliness, right? You had no advantage other than the fact that you may have known where the bullets were coming from. Not to mention, in Dan Bilzarian's case, he just watched someone's head get shot off, right? So he knows that whoever's shooting at him is shooting in that exact location. Why wouldn't you move? Why wouldn't you get away? Why wouldn't you take care of yourself? Number one thing that I was trained in the military is when that shit happens and you're out in the open and you're outnumbered and you're at a disadvantage, what do? You go and seek cover. So I just want to put that out there that I'm completely on Dan Bilzarian's side in this case. I don't think we should have people out there telling other people whether or not they're heroes or not based off of a situation that they weren't in, especially when they're at a disadvantage. I don't want to get into that necessarily, but we need to start understanding what heroism truly is, right? So in that case, he couldn't have been brave. It would have been irrational. He would have been acting out of rashness. He would have been thinking that he was some type of superhero, right? To be able to prevent any more people from getting hurt. Or if he had stayed and triage people, he would have been in the line of bullets and it would have been one more casualty. Come on, guys. We understand this, right? We've all seen Saving Private Ryan with the sniper tower situation. So I wanted to just give a quick chat out there to start allowing people to understand the I guess philosophy that we're teaching people. The other thing is this too, and this is something I wanted to touch on. We have a propensity in America to tear people down who are on the top, right? We want to see these people who have achieved stardom or who have achieved success get completely torn down, right? In my eyes, what Dan Bilzarian did was in a way virtuous, right? He got to safety. He got to a point where he could provide some type of aid to people, right? He got a truck. He got somebody else out of there. And then he came back an hour later with a weapon. Now, am I 100% on this dude's side? Do I think he's the most virtuous person in the world? Absolutely not. But in this instance, I will say people need to check their biases. They need to not try to tear this dude down because they want to pull away from his fame and his wealth. And they need to look at the situation and understand that what was really truly virtuous in this aspect was his own self-preservation, getting to cover, and then being able to assess the situation better to be able to provide aid. So I hope this is something for you guys to be able to chew on and understand. I'm going to post this up on Facebook and YouTube. Leave some comments. Let me know what you guys think. Thanks.